Alright, hello everyone, my name's Klauz, and today I thought I'd try to make my first real tier list. So if you've seen my channel before, you know I've done things in the past, tier lists, like, I did what's the best Fire Emblem game to do an Iron Man run of, who's the smartest character, who's the best heroes OC. But this is the first time where it's more of a analytical, serious thing, where I'm going to be taking a look at like where I would think these units are on a tier list, based on how useful they are and what they're actually like, not just if I like them or not. So I guess where I picked Shadows of Valentia, and that's because I played it the most, I guess, technically, and also it's really easy. I've completed it twice, once on the hard mode and once on normal mode, and I played it a few other times, but it was an Iron Man run and I like died, so I didn't get that far. But I think I've played enough to know what's going on, and it's easier to understand compared to something like, there's definitely like easier than Three Houses, definitely easier than Thracia probably. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna do, and this video might be a little longer, but I don't know. So we have 5 tiers we're gonna put units in, and basically what you're thinking is how well do these characters get you through the game. Like, if you're someone who didn't want to play the game and you want to get through as fast as you can, who's the best options to use? So that's basically how I think it's the best way to make a tier list. So that's what we're doing. And one more thing I'll say is I will take availability into account, because like the best unit in the game cannot be like the last unit in the game. That just doesn't really make sense. So availability is important here, and they will be ordered within the tiers. So I guess let's get started. I have them roughly in order how they join. There might be a few slip-ups here, and also I just want to say this is my first time doing this, so yeah, there may be some things to disagree with. Honestly, I feel like I could come back to this in a year and it could be, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. Let's get started. So first we have Alm, and I think Alm's probably in the very good tier, because well, he's with you the whole game, and he starts out strong enough to where he's one of your carries. There's no Jagan character in this game. If there was, they'd probably be up here. But Alm's completely useful throughout the whole game. He makes good use of the 11 sword you get, or I think it's called a lightning sword in this game. I believe he gets the double lion, so there's that. And then, yeah, at the end of the game he has his nice sword that does a lot of damage and stuff. It's just almost pretty good. There's not much to say about him. He's the main lord, and they definitely made him strong. He's not OP or anything, which is why I think he'll probably be around the bottom of very good, but yeah, he's definitely a very good unit. Next we have a few villagers, and what I'm going to do, I'm not going to take into account like if they do bad in a certain class, because they all suck as a knight. I mean, why bother putting them in like that? First we have Gray, and I think he's good. First time I played with him, he was a paladin and he sucked, and I mean that's why I didn't like him. But then I started using him as a dread fighter and stuff, and it was pretty good. You don't get any natural dread fighters on Alm's route, which is interesting, since you get a lot on Selka's route. So you're probably gonna make one of those, and he's the best. He's a good choice for that. I think he's the best choice, but I'm not certain. So if you make him that way, he'll be a unit that's useful throughout the game, and we'll talk about dread fighters more later. But yeah, that's I'll put him in good tier. Tobin I think is useful. I think the best way to go is with a mage, since he has early access to Excalibur. I think that's what happened. I did do that one point, and that's when I beat the game. So yeah, Tobin's definitely a useful character, I would say. He's around just like these other two are. The whole game he's around. But he's never really been as strong as Gray was, I would say. So I guess I'll put him useful. It is kind of hard with the villagers, since they all could be good, but I do think he's a step down. On Cliff, I think it's very similar. Oh shoot, what am I doing? I don't want to print this. I don't know if that picked up. I'll have to see. Cliff, maybe he's a bit better. I just have more personal experience have Cliff turning out well. It's the only reason I would put him above, and I know personal experience is not what you want to see on a tier list, so yeah. By the way, I didn't do much research before this, I'm just going off of what I think, my memory. So yeah. Cliff's Tobin, very similar. You can make one an archer or a mage. One gets one, one gets the other. Cliff goes with archer, and I think he's better off with that. But they're similar enough to where I don't think they're that higher. Faye is super good. You definitely want to make her a cleric, but she doesn't do bad as a mage either. You do have some other clerics, like you get Silk and you will eventually get Tatiana, but I think Faye is the only one late game who has the, I think it's called Anu, the Anu spell, which is basically like the dance. If you make her a cleric, she can grind XP with Silk. Silk's also a pretty good unit. We'll get to soon. Yeah, if you make Faye a cleric, she will be able to. She won't be just be able to heal. She'll also be able to attack and take hits, and it can go well. So I think Faye is definitely one of the best characters that's in the game. Then Lucas. He definitely falls off, but he's still useful. I'm not going to put him in good just because you don't need to rely on him. Oh wait, one more thing about Gray. He does join with better bases than, at least better stats, or I think better level, yeah, than Cliff and Tobin, so that's why I do think, yeah, he's above. Lucas falls off hard. After the first act is done, he's just useless. I've never seen him useful after that. But he is useful for a decent part of the game, so he's not too bad, I would say. So yeah, we'll put him there. I think that's good, but so he's good for a bit, but you don't need to rely on him, and then he does fall off. So yeah, useful unit. Could be better, but we'll take him. Next up is Silk. I think Silk's definitely a good unit, but I believe she was nerfed because from Gaiden to Valentia, Shadows of Valentia, she had the warp spell, and she still has it, but I don't think it doesn't have unlimited range like I think it did in Gaiden. Maybe it didn't, but either way, she's still just gonna go here. Warp's definitely good. It can help you out, but it's not super effective when it's just a little bit of space. But yeah, Silk and Faye, comboing them together, they're both healers, they both work. Pretty good plan. Next is Claire, and I think she's good. She needs some training, but she can catch up for sure. And when she does, she has monster effectiveness, I believe, and I don't think all bows do damage to flyers, so she can swoop in, maybe tank a bow hit, and then just be good. So yeah, I think Claire's good, but she does join really slow, and you need to level her up, get her a bunch of stats. And if she started better, she'd definitely be one of the best units in the game. But for now, she's good, and that's it. Next is Clive, and maybe I'm missing something, but I've never found much of a use for Clive. I don't think he's bad per se. I've just never been able to use him effectively. I don't really have much to say about him, in all honesty. I don't really know why. What's the deal with Klauz? I don't know how people generally hate him. That's all I can say. Next up, this one's gonna be a little controversial. We have Forsythe, and a lot of people say Forsythe is the worst unit in the game. He's gonna be at the bottom of useful, I guess, just because from using him before, he's been super good for me. Many times, and like, yeah, sure, personal experience is not that important, but if it happens 3 times where he's a hard carry for your team, I can't just ignore that, you know. I think maybe what could be a part of this is that he does join low, but he is easy to grind since he's defensive. He's not super fast, but you don't need too much speed to double, so he can definitely grind, and there's a lot of choke points in this game. So he would go here, and he has decent res, I think, and he has decent stats all around. So I think he can go in useful. I don't think he's the worst unit in the game. I think the worst unit in the game is Python. I think he can get access to Hunter's Volley, which is the only useful thing about him. But he doesn't hit anything. Like, he has 30% hits just all the time. It's not good. I don't think Python's a good unit at all. And he's weak, he doesn't double. Not much to say about him. So yeah. Next up, we're gonna have Selka Squad. I'm just gonna switch around the music for a minute. Okay, we're back. So now we can talk about Selka's characters. And first up, we do have Selka herself. Not sure. I think she's good. I don't know where she would be. Maybe right here. She's not a hard carry, but she's definitely very useful. She has spells. She also has a sword from the get-go. She has a decent promotion, I think. I don't remember too much, but I think it's good. And yeah, Selka's definitely gonna be a strong unit. She's really strong. She's your best unit when you have her. But soon that it doesn't last because we'll get to them soon. So yeah, I think Selka's pretty good. She's not a hard carry, but she's definitely puts in enough work to where I'll put her in the good tier. May is decent enough, but probably more so than Lucas, I think. I just don't think she keeps up as well as a lot of other units, and she's not amazing from the get-go. She definitely has a use, and she is useful, which is why, I mean, that's the tier she's in. So I would put her in useful, but she's not that impressive in all honesty. But she's still pretty good. Bowie is not the same. Anytime I use Bowie, he's not strong. He doesn't take hits well. He doesn't double either. He can definitely chip, and that's useful at least, but I don't think Bowie's too good. He's not bad, but he's not that good really. And Jenny can go behind Gray and above Claire. She's the only hero you get, the only cleric. Your mages can't heal just because they have the ability to. But she starts out good. She does have trouble hitting, but I have found that she's been pretty handy. She has a decent spell list. Oh, and she has the invoke, which is super. It's so useful. If you're playing on hard mode, you want to use invoke because that means the enemies will, the AI, they want to go for the weak enemies, like the ones that are, I guess, the ones that are invoked. So yeah, it's definitely useful. That's a good way to save characters from dying. And she has throughout the whole game. And she's the only one you get of her type on Selka's route, so we'll put her in good. Next up we have Saber, and I think Saber's the best unit in the game. If you ask me, I think he's the best. And there's a lot of reason for this. He has good movement. He has good stats. He can tank mages when no one else can. He joins strong, and he's carries your team for like the whole time. The whole time he can carry. You do get good units later, but when you get Saber, just because he joins so early, I would say he's definitely. I think he's the best unit in the game. He's not a Jagan. He's reliable, and he can kill. He can double. He can survive, and he tanks magic like a pro, which is not super easy in this game. And Kamui is very similar, except he just joins later, so I think he's a tier under, but he's still good. They're basically the same. It's just the join time, which, I mean, this is why I would put him there. Now here's Leon, and I think Leon can earn a spot and use and good, yeah. I think he'll go right there. He could chip people away from a distance. He's not super strong, but he can hit and he can double on like Python. And I think they do kind of join around the same time. It's just Leon's going to be your only chance at an archer unless you left Cliff and Faye behind, or Cliff behind, I guess. Another reason why I think Python's bad is because you probably have an archer with one of your villagers, and they're just going to be better. But yeah, Leon's pretty good, and he can hit. Yeah, he deals enough damage to where I think it's useful. Valbar is definitely a bit better on hard mode, but he only goes right there. I mean, it's just he's slow. He joins as an armor knight, and he just doesn't do anything. He has 0 resistance. Like, think about it, 0. And he's not gonna get any because he has like a growth of 1. So witches can snipe him. It's different than Forsythe. Forsythe has decent resistance, I think. I'm pretty sure. So Valbar is like, what do? You can tank some units, but you have better options. You have Saber, and you also have Kamui by this time. They're much better, and he's not going to take any damage from them, but he's just not going to kill them, and you do need to kill them because if they're left alive, they'll go for someone else. Alright, so now we're moving on to the late game units. Everyone else joins pretty early. There's also some bosses here. We're not going to include them for obvious reasons. First we have Matilda. Matilda's definitely better than Clive, but she's not good enough to where I'd say she's that good. She's useful. I think she joins with better stats, and if not, well, she definitely joins with better bases, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. You know, like I have said before, I could be wrong about some things on this tier list, but yeah, Matilda's definitely gonna be putting in some work, for sure. She'll see use. She can get kills. She can take hits. She can double, all that good stuff. She's just not as good as the other units because nothing really stands out about her. She is a horse, so there are some. Actually, I don't think there's too many on Alm's route, but oh, there's Forest. There's Forest. There's also Forest. Yeah, she's a horse, so she'll take some terrain penalties, but yeah, Matilda's useful, I would say. Luthier, I've never found much of a use for. He just dies. Did I move Bowie? I don't know. We'll see. Luthier is okay. He's just not that strong. If you invest in him, I think he'll turn out okay, but for that to happen, you need to invest in him, which there's better options. He has the Excalibur, which is good. It's just he doesn't really have the range to use it effectively, I feel. So yeah, he's definitely not bad, but he could be better. Like Delthea, I think is better. Probably better than May. She joins late, but she can hit pretty hard. And even though she does join super underleveled, she can still hit things well enough. And then she grows, hits things even harder. And she has a better spell list than Luthier. And yeah, Delthea's pretty good, I would say, for sure. Not game breaking, not someone like, definitely not a Saber or anything, but yeah, good enough to where she's useful. She has some use. She has a clear use. She can do it well. It works out. Next up's Palla. And some people say Palla's the best in the game. I would say probably second best, just because Saber is so ridiculously good. The value he has is so good. But Palla's definitely good. I see where they're coming from. One strategy I know to do is you skip the shrine, I think, like where the dragons are. The Necro Dragon Island. You skip that. You skip the fountain there because it has an XP fountain. You come back with Palla, and you level her up, and then you promote her. It's insane how good she becomes. and she definitely is one of your carries. Like I said with Claire, she can fly. She can fly in, and though there are archers, not all archers have flyer effectiveness, especially not on normal. On hard, I think it steps up a little, but on normal, no. So yeah, she can fly in and take people out, and it's especially good in those maps where you're in where there's the desert maps for one, and then also the corridors, because she can go in and just get the job done. And Katria is very similar to how Saber and Kamui are. Katria is really very similar to Palla. But the problem with Katria is she just joins lower levels. They join at the exact same time, but it's lower levels, and I'm not sure about their stats, but it's probably not much of a difference, I don't think. So yeah, you can definitely make her good as well. So yeah, they're good options. Atlas. Where do we put Atlas? I mean, I don't know. He's bad. I never found Atlas to be useful. He just, when you get him, he's not strong enough, so he just dies. It's very easy to let him die. And I don't think he gets super good level ups, or at least not to the point where it makes him better than the rest. So Atlas is, yeah, he's bad. I hate to say it, but I think he's bad. Jesse. I think useful. I think he'll go behind Forsythe. Forsythe has the availability on him, at least, so. And Jesse, he joins under level compared to Saber and Kamui. Saber and Kamui are the best. They're so good. But Jesse's like, he has the similar role, it's just he needs to catch up at that point, and since you already have two of them, it's not as ideal to do, I guess. But yeah, since he's like, even if he has the same function, the function he has is good, which puts him in a different position than someone like Python versus Leon or Clive versus Matilda. So yeah, I think Jesse's useful, but you need to get him going. Sonya, right there. She could go higher. I haven't used Sonya in a long time because I usually go with Dean now. And the reason is Sonya's not as good. I remember I could not promote her the first time I played. Like, I got to the end of the game and she wasn't promoted. So I think she's under level when she joins, but she might not be. And I think she doesn't have too much trouble doubling. It's just she's not strong enough to where she can do anything. And I don't think she can take hits at all. But you know, I could be wrong since I haven't used her in a long time. Then there's Dean, and Dean's like a pre-built Kamui and Saber. I think he can go above some people. Probably right here above Gray. He's pre-built, and he comes with good stats. It's like, if you wanted Jesse, but Jesse was good, you know? So I think Dean's super good. He's definitely, as a unit, the better choice than Sonya, I would say. But also, Sonya's map is harder because you have witches coming to snipe you. Okay, so we only have 5 left. This is going quicker than I thought. Est is kind of useful. Yeah, she'll go right there, above Valbar. She has the same usefulness as Palla and Katria do. It's just she needs a lot to get there, and she starts out super weak. Because Palla and Katria, they both start out strong. She does not, and she joins a lot later than them, so she does have the good flyer advantages that this game has, but it's really not enough to set her too high, I would say. Okay, so next we have Tatiana, and Tatiana is a character I really like because she's sweet, but she's bad. No, she's not bad, but she's not good. She's kind of useful. Yeah, above S. I think that's a good use a good place to put her. She joins after the point where, like, right after the point where she will be most useful, because I find with Invoke, one good thing to use them on is all the monsters that spawn, and the map that has a bunch of monsters spawn is the one you just completed, where you then get her right after. It's a bad time for her to join, if you ask me. She is a healer, but we do have 2 of those. But yeah, just because she is still a healer, I can put her there. She does have some strong spells. Actually, I'll move her up a little. But yeah, she's not that really that good. And Zeke is kind of in the same situation, but I think he's better off just because he has better stats to roll with. Actually, maybe I'd probably put him up actually a little above Matilda. You do have Matilda and Clive, but they're not super strong here. Zeke actually joins pretty well off. It's just he joins late, so it's like I don't really think I can put him that high. But he's still useful, so I'll put him there. And now we have 2 more. Okay, Conrad is kind of useful, I would say. The problem with Conrad is he joins into swamp maps, and horses do not work well in swamp maps, so it's like bad timing, buddy. Kind of like Tatiana. What else? I think he... No, I don't think he comes with a Blessed Lance, but I do use it on with him. Not much really to say about him. You have good enough units at this point where you don't need him, but he is kind of useful, I would say. Myson's is not good. I don't know what to say about him. He's like a bad Godo archetype. If you have Zeke, like you do have Zeke, and you have of course Alm, and you guys also have some people like Gray built up, or even like your villagers. Even if you have like even if you have Clive built up, Clive's probably going to be better at that point. So it's nice that we have someone else, but it's basically a sacrifice, I think. Okay, well, that's my tier list. Now, please let me know if there's something in here that is not totally true, because this is all from memory. And this is the first time I've done one of these, so yeah, there could be some bad things here, but I think it looks generally okay. But yeah, let me know. I actually want to know. But don't be mean. Don't call me bad. I'm not that bad, okay? I'm pretty good. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy, well, you know what to do. But I'm gonna say it anyways. You gotta subscribe. The goal right now is to hit 250 subscribers by the fall. So I really want to see that happen. And for that to happen, I would need a video to blow up. And if a video wants to blow up, I think subscribing is a good way to help out. Leave a like. Leaving a like is completely free to do. There's really no downside. And also, yeah, leave comments. Tell me how wrong I am, or if you think I'm based or something, then you can say that as well. But thanks for watching. I'll probably do more of these in the future. I'd like to cover every game at some point. Don't know what to do next. Maybe FE6 or 7 or 8. It's just I'm familiar with basically every game except the ones I haven't played. But yeah, thanks for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.